Apache helicopter off the coast of Oman, also saying that the U.S. must now respond.
That's right. Let's go now to CNN's Zach Cohen. Zach, tell us what you are hearing from sources and from the Pentagon.
Yeah, guys, we now know from 2 U.S. officials that it was an Iranian drone that took down this Apache helicopter that was operating around the Strait of Hormuz. And now we're told this is an Iranian Shahed drone. This is one of thousands of these types of one-way attack drones that Iran still has in its arsenal, despite the fact that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the Pentagon have insisted that Iran's military capabilities have been heavily degraded. And again, this is a reminder, too, of the threat that Iran still poses, not just to U.S. vessels and aircraft operating in that key waterway, but also the commercial vessels that have not yet started to regularly transit for fear of attacks from the Iranian regime. And so this is a new detail we're learning today, because earlier this morning, the Pentagon said it was still investigating what happened, what led to this crash of the Apache helicopter around the Strait of Hormuz. We now know, thanks to President Trump's tweet and subsequent confirmation from U.S. officials, that it was an Iranian drone. Now, what remains unclear at this stage, though, is what the intent was, if this was an intentional attack by the Iranians or if it was a collision of some kind. But obviously, if you read the president's statement, that Truth Social post right there, it doesn't really seem that he sees a difference between the two, and that he feels it's important that the U.S. aircraft was hit by an Iranian drone and that the U.S. now, quote, must respond.
And Zach, do we know what options are being weighed as a response?
Yeah, Boris, the military has been developing a series of options. We've seen them also respond to other Iranian attacks, aggressive actions around the Strait of Hormuz over the last few days even. It will be interesting to see if the U.S. response is ultimately proportional, or if Donald Trump does order the military to carry out something more significant. We know the military has been developing a target list of potential targets around the Strait of Hormuz, things like these drone launch sites, missile launch sites, things that are key to Iran's ability to pose a threat to vessels operating in and out of the Strait of Hormuz, which is effectively how they've shut down that key waterway since the early days of this conflict. So it ultimately will be up to President Trump, though, just to decide how to move forward here. The key thing to watch for is, will this response be proportional, or will this be something that escalates the conflict further?
Zach, last month you and our colleague Natasha Bertrand reported that Iran had restarted building drones. It had re-upped its drone production during the ceasefire. Is there any reflection on the part of administration officials that this ceasefire being dragged out now, weeks and weeks, is giving Iran these capabilities?
Yeah, Brianna, that's something that we hear from sources and U.S. officials in private for sure, but we have not heard the president in particular or Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth voice the similar concern, really painting a more optimistic and a more confident view of the damage that the U.S. military has inflicted on the Iranians' capabilities. But like you mentioned, we reported that the Iranians have been using this time, the ceasefire, to reconstitute many of its military capabilities, and has already restarted production on some of these attack drones that, as we've seen today, are capable of taking down an Apache helicopter, also a threat to U.S. Navy ships and commercial ships alike.
All right, Zach, thank you so much for the latest there as we continue to follow this breaking.